Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and welcome back to my Riftborn playthrough / tutorial. If you hear any background noise, I apologize in advance. Unfortunately it's raining and waiting for the rain to end is not really an option because now is the time of year when it rains fairly often. So I can't really plan around it, unfortunately. I just hope you won't be able to hear that. At least I'll try to make sure that you don't. Either way, let's just get right back into the game, shall we? There are a few things we need to take care of. Firstly, this little guest guy wants to settle on a Terran planet. We have 110 to wait, so I could do that, but I'm curious, how long would it take me to make another Geist? Only 110. And then, would another Geist be capable of making it into Gemini in 110 from playtest? Yes, he would be. In which case, I'm not actually going to have this guy set on Gemini, I'll have him go straight to Temos. Reason for that being is that on Temos there is another deposit of titanium. I like me some titanium, I would like to have more. Now unfortunately it's on a Mediterranean planet, so in order to grab it I will need to gain access to pure scale accelerators. But on the plus side, I need every bit of titanium I can get. Having too much of it is not really even an option for me, I can always have more. I could always use more at the very least. So that's the first argument. Secondly, sure, I would grab a redundant technology that I don't need anymore because I already unlocked access to Era 3, but magnetic field generators are always a nice thing to have, let's be entirely honest about it. So I don't really feel too bad about it, plus you can get exercise stations, which I don't think I have many plans that could benefit from them, to be entirely honest. So it's not a very good thing to do, but I'm not against doing so either, and well... yeah, it is a Mediterranean with titanium and two other curiosities. One of them is a subterranean curiosity, mind you, which means that even more awesome things could be hidden on this Mediterranean planet. Speaking of which, I probably could use another scout to actually discover what those curiosities have on them. So I don't need it to be fast, I need it to be able to explore a lot. So, then again, my ships are notoriously slow, so I'll give him 2 ways to explore curiosities and 1 engine, and I think that should be good enough to have this guy not be terribly slow, but also actually capable of discovering things that are not yet uncovered within my empire. Such as, for example, those things on this monsoon planet, which I'll never actually gain access to because I skipped this technology altogether. Monsoon and forests are both not things that I care about. But again, Mediterranean, I also have it in this system, so I do want access to Mediterranean planets. Alright, before I can end my turn, however, there is something I almost forget to do, as I tend to, and that's the laws. Now, I will not take down New Colony Rule, because if I remember things correctly, Telfa, yep, is about to be turned into an actual colony. So I'll gain a good benefit from New Colony Rule, and it's going to partially pay for itself, because keep in mind, increasing your approval does increase your, well, that's not the right place to look at, does increase your influence generation as well. Not by much, admittedly, but it does so nevertheless, which is pretty good. So that's going to somewhat pay for itself. What I do kind of want, actually there are 2 things I want, kind of badly. One is Mineral Mises Act, because it's Mineral Mises Act. It gives you more resource generation, which is great, and extra industry production. Like, with this law enacted, I could even potentially ignore Temos and go straight to Centaurus for the sweet science production. But the thing is, I'm not sure if I really like this idea. Let me drink some tea. Because, like, it would take so long for me to do anything with those planets, and there's 1 subterranean curiosity on this bar, so maybe it has something fun on it. But I would have to spend so many resources to speed this colonization up, and I kind of want to start growing my fleet in the near-ish future. And to do that I need as much titanium as quickly as possible, so I kind of want to colonize Temos regardless. Yeah, let's go to Temos. I like this idea the most. So, either way, Mineral Mises Act would be great. Unlimited Improve would also be great, but I think I'm going to wait with that until I have 2 heroes to maximize its usefulness. For now, Mineral Mises Act will be the thing I'm going to go for. Brains over backs are also quite tempting. I don't need this amount of stats, to be entirely honest, but Mineral Mises is more important. I do need to have as much influence as possible, because I also kind of want to speed up my relationship gain with the pilgrims. I'm not going to praise them, however, because I want to assist them, and that's going to be quite expensive to do. Then again, I still have a lot of time until I reach this 75 points. So you know what? Nah, I can't afford it. I really can't. I'm kind of starving for influence, which makes me think about modifying my build order in order to have more influence. Also, I should have queued up more things to be made on playtest, now that I think about it. But that, whatever. PANCZASU test failed. Huh? That's strange. Why did it fail, actually? Oh, because it turned into, I see, it turned into a colony. That's why it failed. Well, that's whatever. I never liked this quest too much anyway, and I already gained some benefits from it, so that's fine. That's absolutely fine. How am I doing on the whole influence front? I'm only losing a little bit because everything is ecstatic as a result of the new house rule or whatever it's called. That's good. Let's go ahead and start colonizing. Oh yeah, I can't colonize demos yet. I need to gain access to pure scale accelerators. No biggie, I can do this on 110, so this ship can just sit tight and wait for 110. I'll just help you do that. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and have the colony ship head straight to Gemini, and then, hold on a second. I am supposed to, yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I'll think about my faction quest, but the order in which I colonize those two systems won't really actually matter in this case, so it's fine. And I didn't actually want to send both of them together like this, because they're slowing each other down. Like, that's extremely annoying, actually. Holy balls. That's... oh wow. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well, I'll just live with it. I'm not actually a safe scammer, believe it or not, and I know I have a tendency to misclick, so I'll have to just learn not to misclick as much as I do, because it's something I should do less of. Anywho, I'm going to move my population red so I gain even more influence, and the approval penalty doesn't really bother me right now at all. Let's go for AI labor at the earliest possible moment, so that later I can maybe actually grab the Endless Research Pack and Endless World, which would be quite a bit of boost. Meanwhile, over here in playtest, well, AI labor would be substantial increase to this system's economy, so I would love to go ahead and grab that. And Altair is still working on a colony. I can actually speed this up. I don't think there's anything else I really want to spend my dust on. So I will speed this up because otherwise this system is going to grow infinitely slowly, which is not ideal. Also, I'll create... no, there's... I mean, there might be a reason to start creating some kind of religious movement on the system, but I think it's more important to instead start working on independent transport network, because it will overall speed up the growth of the system, since I cannot start working on machine embodiment just now anyway. So that's what I'm going to do there. Still not working on my military fleet. I know, this is surprisingly slow on my military build-up, for me anyway. And I know a lot of Riftborn players do like to rush, and Riftborn rushes can be devastatingly powerful and can win you games very quickly, that's true. That's not how the kind of strategy I feel like showing today. Besides, I always show extremely militaristic strategies. Right now I'm showing you the build-up, so that you, technically speaking, can go in whatever way you want from my... using my build order, whether you want to be an aggressor or a defender. Like, this gives you plenty of options, I feel, which is what I'm doing this. Besides, I kind of feel like having a more chilled out playthrough as well. There's nothing wrong with that, I assume. Anywho, I do want to colonize those trees as quickly as possible. I cannot afford the Xenon infrastructure, or at least I cannot afford it to be bought out, but I can sell my trees. Not trees, my transvine. Now, however, let's have a quick look, see if I should do this. So Transvine right now has a tendency to go down in price. Has there been any AI that was buying it? Transvine. Hey, go back here. I didn't mean to right click. Transvine. No, but somebody sold it. So nobody's ever going to buy it. So I should sell it as quickly as possible, since I'm not ever going to generate any Transvine. And yeah, I don't want it. So I should sell it at the highest possible price. There we go, it's now sold, I'm happy about it. I can buy some titanium, which I kind of want to do, but I'll do that later possibly. And okay, that's that. And now I can buy out this industrial infrastructure, which I will do. It's a pretty big boost, and it allows me to colonize the area far faster, giving me access to the deciduous trees, which will let me actually level up Nair at maybe the near future, because I do want to start shipping minor population route. Even though I did say episodes are rubbish, but still they do provide you with overall boost to Fitzy, even though they don't give you very good innate bonuses, but they still give you bonuses just by the virtue of actually being population, which is quite important and substantial. Alrighty then, did I boost you? No, because I was selling influence, right. And I do need to save this influence, because I'm still in the negatives, quite heavily at that. Alright, oh well. That's how it's gonna be, I suppose. Let me drink some extra tea. So good. And so very needed. Because I actually feel horrible today. Like, seriously, everything hurts. I don't feel like doing anything whatsoever. Maybe with a few exceptions. And yeah, also, oh hey, I gained a lot of extra influence. That's really nice. Makes me tempted to talk to the pilgrims, but again, I won't do that. That's too expensive to make me feel comfortable. This just gives me more room to maneuver around, and most importantly, that's extra titanium, which I like. Now, if I will spend more time at discovering curiosities, I could have probably gotten the first place in this outcome. But again, 100 dust, is it really that much? It's not. Let's be entirely honest about it. Also, a lot of us have grabbed second place, so I should have explored more so that the other empires wouldn't have gotten it. Oh well. You live and you learn, I suppose. I now have taken sovereignty of the Pilgrims. They give me a lot of... I cannot speak, apparently. They give me a lot of stuff now, which is nice. I wish they could give me even more stuff, but we are working towards it. By which I mean, I'm not really working towards it, I'm just waiting for it to happen. Alright, let's colonize everything I can. So first and foremost, the Terran planet for insane amount of titanium and Hyperion gain. Look at this peaceful, beautiful place. I wouldn't want to live there personally, but maybe some people would. It's a little bit too white to my eyes. It would actually probably hurt me every day looking at this kind of landscape. I don't feel like this would be much fun for me, but otherwise I can, you know, appreciate the aesthetic. And imagine that other people could probably appreciate it more than I can. Anywho, let us colonize the Mediterranean thingy. I should have skipped through that screen because it was probably pretty beautiful, but anywho. Now, I do have a lot of titanium, but I need this titanium to start working on several boosting thingies. By boosting thingies, obviously, I mean compression singularities. Which planet is more important to make this on? I mean, has less important build orders right now. Probably Altair. Altair can wait. So I'll do that on Altair. Also, what happens if I swap this guy around? I'll gain a bit of that and that, but lose that. Well, more industry is always welcome, I suppose. Alright, let's move him over here. Dust Nebula is giving me its bonuses anyway, so that's all I really care about. So there's that bit, and once we're done with that, start to grow population, have it give me some extra influence, and also start growing the religious party sport over here. That would be nice. That's going to take already 5 turns, which isn't the greatest, but again, compression singularity, so good, so good. Now I might want to have another compression singularity. I probably won't make it on Altair, but I could make it on Altair, to be entirely honest. Now, regardless of anything, making a singularity always takes you on 1 turn, which is a little bit annoying. Maybe you do want to have a throwaway system just to make you use singularities, but then again, later on in the game, this will be less of an issue, I suppose. Right now it's a bit annoying, but still, I don't want 2 singularities, so I queued them up to know how much titanium I really have in my empire. I have ridiculously good gain now because of colonizing Thermos and Gemini and having the law enacted, which is pretty great, pretty rad, I would say. But this means I can only spend Hyperion to speed up the colonization process. Which planet do I care more to colonize? Do I want to colonize faster? Terran. Colonizing it faster doesn't really give me anything. The only reason I want this planet in the first place is for those resources. Now, meanwhile, you just I can colonize you faster, and you also have good planets to expand to, so yes, I think I'll focus on Thermos rather than anything else. I will speed up the Terran planet colonization at its earliest convenience as well, don't get me wrong. Like, maybe I will even buy out some strategic resources to speed this up, but they're kind of expensive, actually. I don't feel like spending dust on them, plus my income now is pretty decent, I would say. It's really not that bad. AI labor queued up, AI labor in production, a lot of science I wish I could actually start working on, but again I will need AI labor to actually boost my industry production because right now it's kind of crappy and rubbish. And the science, what they want in terms of science. Plenty of things actually. I say, thinking about what do I really want. Like, really. I am wondering about happy pieces just to gain access to improved actions to influence election results. That would be nice. Plus, at some point the booster program will also be useful, but right now... Oh wait, even right now it will be useful. Potentially, if I cannot gain the religious party to the government, that is. Either way, regardless if I can get religious party in the government or not, this is not a bad technology to have, so I can start working on it. And it gives me an empire-wide bonus, so I don't have to actually create anything in my empire for this to work. Manpower, well, there's plenty of space for extra manpower generation, those things. I mean, I kind of want to see what's on the marketplace. Like, I'm probably not even going to have to buy out a new hero. I probably can't afford it right now anyway, and won't be able to do so for a long time. But being able to see what hero is on the marketplace is nice. Commercial frameworks... I mean, sure, a trade route from Altair to Temos at some point will be useful. Right now, it would probably be difficult to set it up, however, so it's not something I can immediately gain good benefits from. So no to commercial frameworks, but besides, personally, I'm not that big of a fan of actual trade routes, as I used to be. I used to be a huge fan of them, but now, the more I think about it, the more often I feel like they're not necessarily worth the effort and it's better to make something else instead. Depends on your strategy and playstyle, but I'm becoming a little bit of a skeptic when it comes to this technology. That's just me though. I can totally see the value in them. Let me drink some tea as I think. I really have a hard time deciding. Hawking radiation is a tempting one, I have to admit, but keeping in mind that Hawking radiation really... I don't really benefit much from support anomaly reduction. I don't think I have any of those in my empire, and even if I do, that's not too many. And this limits the amount of things I get before era 3. What do I sell and what to get? Optics Research Lab is usually something you almost always want to do, especially if I get the religious party in the government. That's a huge boost to your science production. Vacuum production is usually good, but not always necessary actually, so I can just ignore that. Graviton Research is a must-have, essentially. It's so good. Jungles themselves are pretty legit, but Graviton and Shoulder Laboratories are ridiculously nice. So I definitely want to have access to those in combination with wave functions, so those two I have to get, and then the one those materials I don't need right now either. I don't think there's any technology I need right this instant. I could be wrong. I mean, yeah, no. I think right now HyperPSEs is the only thing that I know I want in the near future. So let's go ahead and just grab that, shall we? Oh man, I know I don't sound like it, but I really don't feel great, guys. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm forcing myself to record. I really enjoy recording, and it also helps me forget about whatever health issues or whatever. Just me feeling mellowed out today and not feeling like doing anything. Like, videos are actually a very fun way to spend your time, you know? And it's something I legitimately enjoy doing. It's just a little bit difficult to do them as well. So, on one hand, they make you feel better. On the other hand, you have to feel at least somewhat good enough to actually be capable of doing them for long enough. So there's this line, I don't even know what I'm getting at, whatever. Anywho, let's activate the singularity on Nair, because there's a lot of things I want to make on Nair. Like, a lot of things I want to make on Nair. Seriously, Nair, get a grip on yourself. You are behind compared to what I want you to be. Like, I want to start working things like the New York University and Endless Research Park, and also grab this thing at some point. Those would be all great, but so far it's a little bit annoying, Anywho, now that this star will become more useful, I think it might... Wait, will it be more productive? No, I don't think it will be more productive than the snow planet, right? Then again, it does have titanium, and it will be comparable at the very least. So either way, spin project at some point will not be a very bad idea. Then again, it does slow me down, and I'll think about it later. Everything else is queued up pretty much well enough, and you say you're just going to Telephone, nothing else to be done. Altair is still being besieged by random ravers. That's, I mean, that's what they want to do. I'm not gonna stop them because I don't feel like doing so right now. Alright. Either way, I'll increase the industrialist party, which I'm fine. I want them to be the leading party in my government anyway. I don't care about star system value, and I don't care about food, so backing the upstart is the absolute best thing that I could do in the current situation. So this quest is really good for Riftborn, actually. You pretty much always want to back the upstart. No questions asked. Alright, luxurious prices increase. Well, that's a shame I didn't sell Transvine now, and I sold it earlier, but I suppose, well... what's the saying? I don't remember the saying. Whatever. I didn't know that because there was no way I could have known that this would happen in the marketplace. Anyway, hidden rings, and I also found some Jade Onyx, and I found that blah blah blah. Solar quest started, so I need to set the curiosity on that planet when I'm ready to give up a bunch of stuff. I basically have all of the stuff. In return, I get a lot of the Studious trees, and oh yes, I'm going to do that right now, because firstly, the Studious trees, that would let me actually go to higher level colonization thingy. What's it called? Oh, system level on my home system, which is important. And yeah, I'm not in a desperate need for those resources. I mean, Hyperion, I kind of want to speed up the colonization of the Terran plant, but still, I'm gonna do it. It gets rid of my bonus Hyperion, but whatever. Let's go ahead and do that anyway. I have discovered an awesome planet somewhere far away. Right. I mean, that's not exactly useful. I don't actually care about this planet. It looks like a planet. It has a lot of food, so nobody really cares. It's a monsoon, so I cannot ever colonize it. But that's cool. Anywho, I mostly did it for the 100 Studious trees. Let's be entirely honest about that. So, I'm fine. I'm fine with this outcome, to be entirely honest. So, with that in mind, and the fact that we know we'll be gaining more Studious trees, and Jade Onyx is also a tempting thing to have, but I don't have that much of an income, and right now it's actually besieged, so I don't have any income. And the Studious trees I already have a good amount of, so let's go ahead and grab those as my level 1 colonization. Let's go ahead and have it on Nair. I don't need it at its risk convenience, to be entirely honest. Also, what did I... alright, so this law stopped working, the new colony law stopped working. Alright, so we can stop having it enacted, because it doesn't matter anymore. And move you guys to the sterile planet, nice and easy. And this way the system is way happier than it was before. Now, I am not necessarily in a hurry with this level 2 modernization, because I do want to start... I mostly want it for the future Pilgrim colony, to be entirely honest. Also, that's a little bit much Epistis right now, and I will not have much place for the Pilgrims citizens on Nair in the near future. But I'm not going to stop them from spreading out like a plague, I mean Epistis. What I'm going to do, however, is slow down their growth. Actually, this doesn't slow down their growth at all. I mean, it does slow it down, but it's still going to they're still going to grow in 3 turns. I'd rather the system be ecstatic then. Alright, everything is in place. And how long until, for instance, Denmark University? Not that long. Not that long at all, actually. That's pretty good. I think I might start thinking about going towards it. Alternatively, I can start going towards Endless Research Park, which isn't that bad. There are very few red ones on the system though. I should work on having a few more because they're really good actually, and the system is now perfectly capable of housing more of them. I might enact the Racial Purity Act soon actually, just so I have room for both the Riftborn and the Pilgrims on my home system. Then again, I can just ship the extra episodes to my other systems. I keep not wanting to do this because it's just... Again, I don't know. I just don't like doing so for nonsensical reasons, but I should do this, so... This will be enacted soonish. But I don't need it right now, anyway. Alright then, so you just use up all your probes, that's fine, go to Temos now. And I don't think there's anything else I need to do at this instant, so I have an idle singularity, so never mind, Faitas needs orders. Speaking of fighters who need orders, you need to move your population around a bit. Sprint project for the win, please have that, and now you can just go ahead and end your turn. Alright then. Once you're done with that, dear fighters, some extra science would be most welcome. That's a pretty big boost to a system that otherwise produces basically 0 science. And then colonize the Mediterranean planets because, again, the serious trees. I'm gonna need those. So there's that. I forgot to actually activate the singularity, which is rather embarrassing, I do admit, but whatever, things like that do happen, I suppose. Let's go ahead and explore a bunch of singularities. I mean, not singularities, curiosities. So what do we have? Science from scrap, that's okay. We've got Hyperion resource. I knew this is a good idea to colonize the system. And a honeycomb scope. I wanted to say honey bomb for some reason. I don't know what a honey bomb is, but it sounds delicious. Not a very useful thing, but it's nothing that I would ever complain about having. So yeah, let's go ahead and have that. And now you have no more probes, so let's wait for you to restock on those. Let's see, research is something I need to deal with. Again, not the easiest thing in the universe when you have a headache. I'll think about it in a second. Let's firstly see how my systems are doing. My systems are doing fine. Should I start thinking about potentially military research? I don't like the idea, but militaries currently have very little support. But very little is still a little bit much, actually. I'm not too happy about it. Not too happy about it at all. And religious parties... they don't have that much of a support either. I will need to start working on the militarist technologies either way, so I might as well start grabbing them now. So I'll grab this one because it increases the amount of manpower I can have in my empire, that's useful. And I could start on working to work on my military ships technologies. Or alternatively, I cannot do that. Like, I really am afraid of putting the militarists in charge. I really don't want to do that. Hawking Radiation does, there is a much more curious and fun technology to grab. It also works towards unlocking some more powerful science technologies. Alternatively, I can start working towards gaining access to antimatter, which I know I have in my empire, so that would be nice, actually. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and grab predictive logistics to make sure that I can use this titanium I have. Hey, I meant to click that. And expanded mines, as well as the ability to colonize gas giants, seems like a pretty good option, I think. So let's queue that up as well. Alrighty then, let's work on this. Make sure that we don't lose our focus. And that will be the end of this turn. And another opportunity for me to drink some extra tea. Because tea is life. At least in my brain. My horribly addicted brain, hello! Alright, that might make me change my mind, because Horatio are being a little bit too cocky. Like, seriously, they're starting to get on my nerves, so let's have a quick look-see at what do they think about me. They're reserved, because they just met me. Whatever, alright, you are kind of encroaching on my territory, buddy. You really are, so... And I'm kind of afraid they might plan to try and take over the pilgrims, which would be really annoying. Let me think. So, do I do something about this right now? I mean, there's just a start to become systems that I care about grabbing. I mean, that's a 10 population system with titanium and luxuries on it as well. Horatio already colonized 2 decent planets. I wanted to colonize the steppes still before I attack, because I cannot colonize steppes and they can. They keep growing, so they will need to be stopped at some point, but not yet. I know this calls out to the militarists all across the globe, or globes actually in my empire, but I don't think it's time to prepare an offensive yet. How well are they doing score-wise? Pretty well, I mean, Horatio usually do. Let's wait, let's let them grow, make them fat and powerful, fat, rich, filled with nutritional values and whatnot, and just absolutely delicious when we eventually eat them. Let's let them build up a little bit. Either way, our fleet will be able to take down any food they can produce. I'm pretty sure I'm about that. So, let's not rush too much. Let's prepare my empire first. Make sure that it can be pretty much powerful by itself before I start to actually invade, which I will do pretty quickly, but not yet. Let's not get too excited about incoming war, shall we? Alright. You have no more probes, so start making your war towards Centauros, because why not? Things are to be made over everywhere. And you do say, well, you certainly need to give me more extra resources, because resources are very fun, and this guy is in our government, so this thing benefits us substantially. Alrighty then. Do I want to enact another law? Admit improve, not to say species stability. What about... Hold on a second. Did I... Oh, I didn't enact the... Crap, I didn't enact the law that gives me extra approval in time. Oh well, I can go ahead and spend the Hyperium, and in 2 turns I can enact the law. So for 1 turn I can have... 1 turn of species stability. Is that a good idea? Not, because I will gain epistasis in 1 turn. So instead, 1 turn of Brains of Bucks, I think that's a better idea. Just 1 turn to gain a little bit of extra science when I don't need this extra dust, because I really don't need the extra dust right now. So new event, Church and State, increase religious political ideology, no questions asked. Besides, I need the extra influence as well, so yes, yes please, religious all the way across the sky. I want me some religious. Now the problem is, those systems, they're gonna have, most likely, actually they're most likely just gonna vote for industrialists, so that's fine, I don't have to worry about them at all. Right now at the very least. So let's start working on the improvements. Telefa, working on its improvements as well. Could speed up the colonization process, don't think I really care about it too much. Let's go ahead and queue up some extra population and do a similar thing over here. Yeah, I don't really care about colonizing another planet too quickly, to be entirely honest with you. Then again, desert is a desert, so let's go ahead and do that as well. I can also instantly colonize it. I'm gonna do it just because it's a pretty substantial boost. Although it will be a boost only once I grab xenostructure thingies, but let's have it. Let's go ahead and have it. And you say also let's have it. Let's have as many planets in my empire as quickly as possible. So let's deal with that and the 10. And okay, what do they have? They have yeah, they're forcing my hand. I will have to start to prepare military. Also, Cravers are being naughty little boys because they are killing people. I mean, that's Cravers to you. You don't really expect anything else, do you? Huh. Alright, so what are they using? For the most part, I mean, that seems like... yeah, just regular kinetic weaponry with a bit of... It's 100% of still medium, so it has to be kinetic plus lasers. Mostly kinetic. And they're not defended against the beam energy weapons at all, so that's good to know. Alright. Nothing too scary action, nothing too scary at all, I just cannot use missiles, but then again, I wasn't planning on using... I'm sorry, missiles in the first place, so that's fine. Let's go ahead and move, let's change the laws while I remember to do so. So bring over backs, abolish, enact new colony rule, because that will let Gemini be very useful for our entire empire, that would be nice. And Altair is still besieged, which is still as annoying as it always was. Like, seriously, don't get me wrong, it is annoying, it is starting to grind on me a little, but it's not necessarily something I have to deal with right at this moment. You just said, I don't have an army to make yet, so let's see, I could instead start working on some really fun things, like Deneric University, which is one of those really fun things. So I'll do that, I think. I'll certainly do that. Also, Epistus, you are growing way too much for me right now, so... yeah, I'm actually gonna make sure that there are Epistus to slow down the Epistus growth. No, I need to have as much population as possible, so never mind. I keep falling into the fallacy of, oh, don't let the Epistus grow because they are not that good. They are useful, they are very useful, they increase your Fitzy by a ton. Do let them grow. Yes, you want to have a lot of them. I have an ocean planet as a backup place for my Riftborn and Pilgrims to live on anyway. I'm not desperate for space yet. In fact, I'll queue it up pretty quickly, I think. It will be ready in 8 turns. 8 turns is, I'll have it ready in 3 turns. And then I'll probably have the episode stop with Racial Purity Act. Yeah, no need to worry, I have room. Don't fall into the fallacy self. You're better than that. Don't do this. Alright, how are elections doing? Radius Party, small support, unfortunately. I'll still try to boost it, of course, but it's not as good as I wish it was. But then again, I have a lot of one population systems and they are all going to vote for industrialists. So it's really only Nair and to some degree fighters I have to worry about when it comes to supporting Radius Party. Nair, however, really likes the ecologists. It really does. And fighters prefer scientists. Not very good, to be entirely honest. Alright, you go back to the lava planet, thank you very much. Alright, you discussing curiosities. This is, again, not spotting the right parties, but whatever. Let's see if there's actually anything useful on the barren planet, shall we? There is a Prowler, and there is Antimatter, that's actually pretty good. And we fought some Horatio. That's really good. I'm really happy about Horatio. Because, actually, I'm not. I just realized, Horatio are not useful for me. Oh, they're not. I will still let it settle in my empire. I mean, it's 3 workforce at the very worst. But again, I forwarded the similar problem of Epistus uselessness. In fact, those Horatio will be even less useful than Epistus because they will give me extra approval. And I intend to make my empire stack to happy regardless of what happens. Oh well. Right now, I can use the Lost Horatio to explore some extra curiosities, which I suppose I'll do anyway. Because, hey, why not? And find extra experience on ships, which is nice, because I actually found myself a warship somehow. It's kind of a useless warship, to be entirely honest, but what am I gonna do with it, exactly? I don't know, I'll send it to Nair, and it will be, I don't know, put it on display. Also kind of parade, maybe, I don't know. And then I'm going to have, let's see, no more curiosities on Centaurus, so both of those ships can start walking towards getting to Telefan, nice and easy. Gemini needs to have something in its build queue. Well, we all know what's that going to be. And I'll need to start working on having it have more science, because that will be important. That will be also a religious hero that it will give me, so yeah, I certainly want that. As for you, just what do you want? More population, most likely, actually. But a little bit of Destined Science won't hurt either. I mean, this is just a flat-out good bonus to have. So let's make sure that I do have it. Anything else I need to worry about at this turn? I don't think there is. Although I need to change my research order. I mean, I'll finish neurorobotics. It's a really good thing to have anyway. But it's about time I'll wait with the militarists. I need to wait with the militarists until after the elections because they might steal some votes from the religious party. And I can afford to wait, I think. Or, you know what? I can start working on military tech but not finish them in time for the elections. So, for instance, this thing. It will take me 4 turns anyway. Let's start working on plant cryogenics because I will need those. And it will take me a long time to actually get them anyway, so it's fine. And a 10. And actually end this video as well because, again, I don't feel that great. And, yeah, found 10 dust on Empire for 15 turns. That's actually not that bad. Not that good either, but still, that's something I suppose. So, anyway. Oh, okay, Riftborn Blues. Feel free to pause the video and read that one out. So, it will give me an extra lookup mode. Not a bad thing. And for coal plants, I'll just need to colonize this new system with the Baron and the ice plants to grab this, this quest. It's not a very good quest, but it's fun to do and not very difficult, so feel free to do it at your convenience. Academy has been discovered. Oh well, I don't particularly care about that. And alrighty then, I think that's all there is to do. Something happened. Oh, automatic price increase. I could sell it for a lot of profit, but I'd rather keep it for myself. Anyway, again, that's the end of this video, ladies and gentlemen. It was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mix Spammer. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you online.